growing lately, and the fact that he is picking up steam and is the front runner, people are calling him that.
Well, I wouldn't say that he's the front runner, but he's doing very well.
He has like one more delegate than Dukakis.
Not what I heard.
But what this has done, it seems what it put Jesse in a position, being out in front, and now they're taking shots at it, which is something new. And yesterday, Senator Gore went after him on the Middle East, speaking to a Jewish group in New York, and that was the first public attack of that kind that I think has come up. I wonder if you think Jesse's vulnerable on that, and what do you think of Gore going after him on that issue?
Well, I think two things. I think now that he is really considered to be one of the front runners, I think clearly he is going to come in for a lot more criticism. I think in the case of Gore is finished in my opinion, and I think this is a desperate cheap shot attempt to try to weaken Jackson, which I don't think will work. But I think when you are a front runner, when people now have got to contemplate that you may be the candidate of that party, you're going to come in for a lot of criticism, some of it valid, some of it not valid. In terms of the Middle East, I am comfortable with Jackson's position. I think Jackson's position now says that you need to protect the state of Israel, which is clearly absolutely right, and you've got to deal with the very serious problems of the Palestinian people. What's going on in Israel now is unfortunate, it's tragic, and the truth of the matter is I think Jackson has the capability of bringing people together. The truth of the matter is that I think there has got to be a bringing together of people in the Middle East. I think Jackson has a personality and an ability to bring people together, which is very strong. So he's going to get his share of criticism. That's not to be, yeah.
Sorry, while we're on Israel, do you support the Schultz peace plan?
I think that there's got to be a bringing together of the Israelis and the Arab people. I think the United States has clearly not shown the leadership that it should be shown. The United States has tremendous clout throughout the Arab world and in Israel, and I don't think it has made the demands that it has got to make on the Arab leadership as well as the Israeli leadership. I think Schultz has made a start in the right direction, not far enough.
What are the demands that you think ought to be made?
Again, that's an issue you're going to have to give me a little bit of time to formulate.
With all due respect, Mayor, how much time do you need? The riots are into their 100th day. 2 more Palestinians died today. The death toll among the Palestinians is above 110. How much time do you need?
Well, we have a seventh. What is going on in the Middle East right now is obviously a tragedy. There's no question about it. The sight of Israeli soldiers breaking the arms and legs of Arabs is reprehensible. The idea of Israel closing down towns and sealing them up is unacceptable. You have had a crisis there for 30 years. You have had people at war for 30 years. You have had a situation, and have a situation, within some Arab countries where there is still Arab leadership talking about the destruction of the state of Israel and the murdering of Israeli citizens. Clearly you have a gulf there, and you have a gap there that has been an enormous problem. The point that I'm making is I don't have a magical solution to that problem. It is a tragedy. What is going on in Israel today is horrible, and it's very sad. What has got to happen is Arab states. Let's not forget the role of Jordan and King Hussein. You know, sometimes we concentrate on Israel. You still have an autocracy there. You have a king. You have got to bring together the Arab states, and the United States has that capability. We are pouring billions of dollars in arms into Arab countries. We have the clout to demand that they and Israel, who we are also heavily financing, begin to sit down and work out a sensible solution to the problem which will guarantee the existence of the state of Israel and which will also protect Palestinian rights. I mean, be very honest with you, I don't have a magical solution to that tragedy which has been going on for 30 years that other people, don't have also.
You don't have any preliminary recommendations for incentives to get them negotiating?
The preliminary recommendation that I have is that the United States of America is pouring billions of dollars into arms and to other type of aid in the Middle East. Has the United States of America used its clout, the tremendous clout that it has by providing all kinds of aid into the Middle East, to demand that these countries begin to sit down and talk about a reasonable settlement which will guarantee Israel's sovereignty, which must be guaranteed, but which will begin to deal with the rights of Palestinian refugees? That's the demand that I would make.
Is that a call for sanctions?
No, it is not.
Can you give us all more specifics about what you mean?
No, I think I've given you enough that I can give you today. I mean, it's a fair question, but there are 50 fair questions. You haven't asked me a question as to what we are going to do about the fact that this year there will be 100 million people perhaps starving to death in the world today.
Within this vein of questioning, within this line of questioning, we are wondering what your position would be, what your recommendations would be in terms of arms. Should we have a reduction in arms contracts? What are you calling for, sanctions?
Well, I think what I am saying is if you have a nation like the United States, which is pouring substantial amounts of money into a nation, into the nations of the Middle East, you have negotiating clout. You can say to Jordan, you can say to Egypt, you can say to Israel that, listen, this type of situation, this continued conflict, this denial of Palestinian rights, this hatred of Israel and on the part of certain individuals who would like to destroy the state of Israel is unacceptable. Jordan has got to accept its responsibility for the Palestinian problem as well. You have the ability, when you are the United States of America, which is supporting the armies of the Middle East, to demand that these people sit down and work out a reasonable settlement, protecting the rights of the Palestinians, protecting the rights of Israel. That has not yet been done.
Or else what?
Or else you begin to cut off arms. If I am supplying somebody else with money, I can, to a significant degree, call the tune. We have found that the United States has been able to destroy the economy of Nicaragua, for example. We have found that the United States is able to destroy the economy of Panama. If the United States goes into the Middle East and demands a reasonable, a responsible, and a peaceful solution to the conflict that has gone there, because of its clout, because of the tremendous amounts of money that it is pouring into that region, I think we can do it. I don't think we have exerted the leadership that we should be exerting.
Well, that raises an interesting question about Nicaragua and about other countries around the world where we always have a lot to say about human rights and human rights violations, and yet we haven't even seen more than an eyebrow raised in Washington over what's been going on in Israel. And as you pointed out, you see people nightly on the news being beat up with rocks. And what about that? Aren't those human rights violations?
It is an absolute disgrace. It goes without saying. Soldiers of any nation, especially an occupying power, are not allowed under any moral code to break the arms and legs of people. That is absolutely unacceptable, period. And that type of behavior must be condemned. Equally, what must be condemned is the fact that there are people within Arab countries who still to this day believe in the destruction of the state of Israel. That is also unacceptable. The United States has got to play a leadership role in what is a morass, what has been year after year, war after year, war of conflict. I mean, what I'm here to suggest is I don't know any magical solutions, except to say that I think that the United States has not taken the leadership role that it should be taking in that region.
But Mayor, if you're in Congress, you could be part of that leadership that would make a decision, and what would you do? As we said, the situation has been protracted.
I think I've said as much as, let me just tell you that in general, during this course of this campaign, we'll be making detailed statements as best as I can do. What I've told you today is that I deplore the type of activity that is going on in Israel. I deplore the hatred that exists among certain Arab leaders, that in fact there's going to have to be a coming together if the people of Israel and the Arab countries are going to survive. I don't have a magic formula to the solution. The United States should be exerting far more clout than it is presently. It has the power to demand that certain changes take place on the part of the Arabs and on part of the Israelis, and we have not used that clout. I think Schultz is beginning the process. I would suggest that we go further.